So without further ado, we turn to another country which has had to struggle against all the odds, a long civil war and under tremendous difficulties, still facing slanders, lies, attempts to interfere in their elections, everything. So can I please call on Comrade Whitaker to come and who is the minister advising the Nicaraguan president on foreign affairs. So we're really, really honored to see him here today. And I'm sure you're going to be very much enlightened as well as enjoying what he has to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, comrade. More than any governmental position, I wish that we are all comrades, comrades in this struggle. Ruling. See, we have, okay. President of the Communist Party, comrades Jody Bear and Zane Carpenter, vice presidents, comrades, militants of the Communist Party of Great Britain, comrade Ambassador Barbara from Cuba, my sister. You fought many years side by side. Comrade Ambassador from Laos, comrade Giselle, I nearly forgot your name, from Nicaragua, my sister of many years also of struggle. I bring you fraternal greetings from Nicaragua, the land of our immortal anti-imperialist fighter, general of free women and free men, Augusto C. Sandino. I bring fraternal greetings from the land of the Sandinista Popular Revolution, the Sandinista National Liberation Front, the land of President Comrade Daniel Ortega and Vice President Rosario Murillo, who together with thousands of Nicaraguan combatants continue to fight and build a lasting people's revolution, keeping alive the flame of social justice and defending people's power. It is an honor to participate in this significant tribute to remember the great October Revolution, a transformative milestone for the Soviet Union and the world, which among so many great legacies left humanity with the unequivocal triumph over fascism and colonialism. The fascist threat continues to be present in the world today. When world capitalism, in one of its most grotesque forms, once again endanger the peace and well-being of the peoples of the world. The Great October Revolution teaches us the importance of building popular unity, not only to conquer political power, but also to maintain this popular power, for which having a united and cohesive advanced political instrument to lead society in its struggle against capitalism and imperialism becomes of fundamental importance. There is no doubt in any progressive, revolutionary, or socialist mind about the danger that excessive greed and the globalizing concentration of wealth exacerbated by an almost absolute control of liberal democracies, the military industry, corporate media, and information technologies represent both for the planet and humanity. Yeah. For the Nicaraguan people, the struggle for independence, self-determination, and national liberation has always been present in our history. The heroic anti-colonial resistance of our original people moved to the confrontation with imperialist intervention, which tried to annex us to the United States in the mid-19th century. Imperialist arrogance has acted with the mentality that our region is their backyard, that they have the right of violating our national sovereignty whenever it occurs to them. In over 100 years that Nicaragua has formally gained independence from the Spanish and European colonies in general, because in the end it is the same self-interest of the colonial and imperial system, our small country with less than 130,000 square kilometers and some 6.5 million inhabitants has been intervened militarily at least 4 times by the most powerful military force on the planet. And on each of those occasions, they have been defeated and rejected by our heroic people. Dignity, the vocation for struggle, and national liberation have marked our history, marked our political culture, and have marked our anti-imperialist political identity. Throughout this journey, we have been clear that either you are on the side of the popular movement or you are on the side of the oligarchy, allied with the forces of foreign intervention. The vast majority of the Nicaraguan people have chosen the side of the popular movement. The triumph of the Sandinista Popular Revolution in 1979 immediately became a target of imperialism and its national lackeys, who tried by every means in their disposal to undermine and destroy the emerging popular revolution. But once again, they could not destroy Sandino's worthy example, despite mining our ports, poisoning our waters, and financing an army of mercenaries. Throughout the 1980s, they did not stop conspiring. They did not stop attacking us militarily. They did not stop trying to destroy the example of the beautiful Sandinista revolution, which taught the people to read, vaccinated boys and girls, restored the rights, ensured production of vital food in conditions of economic blockade. The reactionary anti-imperialist forces, aggrandized by their action against the socialist bloc, against the Soviet Union, against progressive thought in the world, proposed that the United States was determined to lead a unipolar world where it would give free rein to concentration of wealth and the debilitating globalization of the world. Under these conditions, in 1990, Nicaraguans went to elections rigged by the interests of the empire, with a gun to our heads, with the threat of yet another direct military intervention. These elections opened the path for the neoliberal darkness we forced to endure for 16 years. We had to face the destruction and misery caused by the neoliberal policies that spread like wildfire among the oppressed peoples of the world, impoverishing the workers and concentrating wealth and power in the hands of the intervening North. Neoliberal policies that made it clear once again that there are only 2 options: be on the side of the popular movement or be on the side of the empire and its lackeys, the national oligarchy. Oligarchy that takes many different forms, even that of progressive converts that seek to confuse and divide the popular movement. Between 1990 and 2016, neoliberalism was concerned with dismantling the advances of the popular revolution, with trying to divide the people and its vanguard political instrument, the FSLN. They spent 16 years trying to erase the popular Sandinista revolution from the imaginary of the people through fear and misery. The Nicaraguan people once again chose to defend the historical legacy of the popular revolution, and in 2007, despite the enormous media machinery, the use of emerging electronic platforms, and access to financial resources provided by the oligarchy and the empire, the Nicaraguan people managed to overcome adversity, and under the leadership of Comandante Daniel Ortega, the FSLN came to power again to resume the path of the restitution of rights, progress, and social justice. This new stage of the Sandinista popular revolution began facing difficult and adverse political conditions. The constant stalking of the North American empire and its European emissaries, and the destructive nature of the national oligarchy in all its forms, including those who had betrayed the ideals of Sandino and placed themselves at the service of foreign intervention. Despite the constant harassment of the counter-revolutionary forces, the people, the good government of the FSLN, managed to promote the greatest social, political, economic, and restitution of rights advances known in the history of Nicaragua. Inclusive social programs, economic stability, infrastructure construction, and above all, rights for everyone, women, youth, indigenous, Afro-descendant, workers, peasants, all felt the fresh breeze of the well-being and the dignity of being the protagonist of their history. The Nicaraguan people experienced the longest period in peace with growth and equitable distribution of its history. By 1918, after 2 periods of government led by the FSLN, the significant advances in the country's indicators were beginning to be reflected worldwide. The safest country in the hemisphere, after Cuba. Among the 5 countries with the greatest gender equality in the world, universal and free access to health and education, universal access to drinking water, sanitation and electricity, roads, infrastructure, decent housing, food production, food security, record numbers of unionized workers and corporatized peasants and artisans, record exports, macroeconomic stability. Above all, a country acting with dignity in the world, giving no breathing space to the denunciation and an unequivocal condemnation of capitalism and imperialism as the cause of misery, inequalities, and the destruction of the planet. But the empire, its local lackeys, with their sense of oligarchic superiority, were stalking, attacking, dividing, and preparing to try to destroy this revolutionary project. This is how in 2018, after intense media campaign spreading falsehood and exercising terror in the streets, they attempted a coup to try to disrupt the good governance of the FSLN. However, the unity of the Nicaraguan people, our historical combativeness managed to defeat this new attempt against the Nicaraguan popular movement. The story here is not only that the failed coup tried to unsuccessfully destroy the revolution. The true story resides in the Nicaraguan people's capacity to resist and triumph in the face of new destabilizing methods, siege, aggression, and violence put forth by the imperialists. After so much falsehood, so many attacks in the form of sanctions, and new attempts to divide and intimidate us, of the instrumentalization of so-called human rights system, after going through the COVID-19 pandemic, the Nicaraguan people have been able to recover, only to return to the path of well-being, the restitution of rights, and the consolidation of popular power. Nicaragua continues to be an example of dignity, of revolutionary firmness, of clarity of purpose. The FSLN fearlessly assumed its responsibility in building a more just world society, without bowing down to those who attack us and firmly facing those who have chosen to surrender in the arms of the empire's interests. Communist brothers and sisters of Great Britain, you can be assured that the Sandinista popular revolution lives and grows stronger in Nicaragua, that the popular movement moved forward victorious, building the popular power, that the Sandinista Front for National Liberation will continue to defend the victorious banners of revolution. Thank you very much. ¡Viva Sandino! ¡Viva! ¡Viva Fidel! ¡Viva!